Good morning. It is now November and time for another update on the garden. My garden is starting to fall asleep, and so today we'll kind of just walk through everything. I think we can do the front and back pretty quick, so let's do it. Look at these hydrangeas and their fall color. The leaves are about to fall off. I don't like the look of this at all. I hate the brown, so I'm gonna cut it back probably once the leaves have fallen off, so that I can just have a neater looking garden. I'm also going to move these guys here, and just to keep them from falling into the path so much, because this drives me crazy. I need to have clearance to walk. But everything else is still doing okay. These columbines and the herbs. Look, I've got the tricolor sage, and I think this is majorum variegated. It's beautiful. I love it. And with the box here, so all of these might die over winter, but these boxwood, tiny boxwood things should stay and give some winter things to look at. My maple is starting to shed its leaves. It was so beautiful last week. It was bright red last week, and now I'm starting to lose the leaves. It's starting to go gray and fall down, and that's okay. But having the deciduous leaves drop will be wonderful for the soil. And over here, the crazy willow has gotten so big. It's grown so much, and so I'm not going to prune this back yet. I'm going to wait for it to lose its leaves, and then I'm going to just prune the whole thing way back, because there's way too much of it now. Let me show you on this side. My climbing rose has finally reached the top of the arbor. Yay! And I did a bunch of work here. I think since the last time we talked, you can see there's still a hosta that's out of the ground. I haven't done a good job putting it back. I don't know where I'm going to put it back. I might get rid of it altogether. But I've planted, excuse me, I planted anemones into the pot, and some spring crocus, because every time I plant crocus and anemones in the ground, I've had issues where creatures eat it. So I'm trying, really. And then everything else is starting to go to sleep, so except for the oregano. You can see the oregano is forever taking over this area, but we can see that all the hostas are done. They look terrible right now. They just need to be cleaned up. And then the 3 fuchsias are here. I think I'm going to get rid of this hosta so that I can move these out, give them some more space, because this hydrangea is fantabulous and I love it. And yeah, this one also needs a trimming, as you can see. I'm just going to let them go until they completely lose their leaves before I do anything about it. Fuchsia. Look at this hardy fuchsia. It's so good. It's so good. It's so good. So this one I don't have a baby of, but I do have cuttings of tons and tons of fuchsia that I took back here. It's a mixed bag of fuchsias, and I'm gonna try to keep them all alive over winter. I might put some of them in the ground. I haven't decided yet. I'm gonna do that after I move some other bigger plants around, because this is one of the areas that I really want to redo. It was just a big mess in this area. So I took out some plants already, and I moved this fuchsia. It was here. I moved it back there because it's quite big. And I think I'm gonna put another hydrangea tree right here, so that we have 1, 2, 3. I already have the fuchsia, or the hydrangea tree. It's just not here. It's sitting in the forest area, and I just don't think that's the right area for it. We'll do a little perimeter walk here, and then we'll talk about the middle. So everything is, I still have blooms. They're just not looking as, as vibrant, as alive, as awake as they were early in the season, but you can see there's still blooms back there. And everything needs to be pruned back. So every week I've been pruning. It's not that I haven't been pruning, it's just that my bin gets so full that I don't have any more space to prune this week. So that's what's happened. I transplanted a lot of iris into here because this is the best area for the irises, I think, in terms of performance. So I'm putting them in here, and just giving these some space to grow and to expand. I've dug up all of my dahlias that were here. So, I missed one. There's still a little one, but I pulled most of them out because I'm gonna put them into a bed and not right here. But look at the salvia and how well it's doing, even in this cold. We've already had frost. It was just not hard frost, and so stuff still is alive and green, and under the tunnels there's a lot of green, so it's doing okay. Daylilies long asleep. Lots of the lilies are starting to go almost completely dormant, and the crabapple has lost almost all of its leaves, and the birds have gotten most of the fruit, which is exactly what I want, so I am not complaining about that. And then what I've got here is an insane amount of sunchokes. We are going to dig these out after frost, and I don't know, I guess eat them, but there's so many. Some of them are just straight up sticking out of the ground at this point. They're so big and they're just everywhere. Like if I just literally lift anything, there's sunchokes everywhere. They're the easiest things to grow, completely carefree, completely bug-free. Back here, I want to remove this. This is perennial sunflower, and I think it needs to go because it's just kind of encroaching on this area, and it's extremely tall. So it goes past the fence in terms of height, 6+ feet. I want something lower, so I'm going to cut that all out and put something a little low growing, or maybe nothing, into that space because the crabapple needs some space. This area, there's a very, very dead hydrangea that's not coming back, so I'm probably going to put a hydrangea cutting that I got from a friend into here, and that is some tall white phlox. So these are the new plants that I got from this year that really struggled. I think this area has some of the worst soil in my garden and has very, very, very high sun. So it struggled a little bit, but the rose is finally taking off. This is Cecil Brunner. It should be an extremely vigorous rose once it's, gets going a little bit here. So I'm just going to start attaching it onto the trellis. And it's right next to some deciduous hydrangea, azalea, that I'm really excited for. My blueberries are, this one is ahead of the other one, so it's already shed its leaves. But you can see how beautiful the leaves are. So red, so gorgeous. I'm so excited about that. We have been getting really, really close to frost every single night. I need to move this panel, I know. We've been getting really, really close to frost. And so I've just been focused on trying to trim things, letting, the deciduous plants drop their leaves, and really just letting everything naturally go to sleep. You can see though, my roses are still going. They have no concept of frost. Ew, there's a slug on there. That's gross. And yeah, look at the leftover hydrangea blooms. They're so pretty. All right, hold on. Let me try to get past this without getting completely stabbed here. Ouch. Okay. And let me show you some yarrow. I love this yarrow. I like that it looks like a very vintage color. And then I've got some more Rudbeckia here. And there's that beautiful Prairie Sun Rudbeckia. Still my favorite Rudbeckia. I've got some, so I decided I'm not going to prune my roses at least too much before frost. But, you know, some of them have spent bloom, so I need to go deadhead still, I think. But look at this. I don't know why it decided to bloom now, but I can tell you, I love muck orange flowers. I know this thing's probably going to be a beast at some point. Look, I can't even get past. But I'm very excited for that. So this area is a little wild. It's definitely overgrown. This is one dahlia that has gone absolutely insane. It's so big. It's like 5 feet wide, and I need to cut it or dig it up, split it out, give it to people because there's way too much. All the roses are, you know, just kind of struggling getting by here. Let me get past so I can show you some more stuff. Oh my gosh, it's crazy in here. I love how windy, how much movement is in these, the salvias. All right, so my tubers are here. I'm waiting for the tubers to fully lose their leaves before I harvest them, but I'm pretty excited about that. They're just in pots, so I should be able to just harvest out of the pots, like pour them into a wheelbarrow, get the tubers out, and then, you know, eat them and reuse the soil for next year. In this corner, we've got my little rose here and some perennials to take up this space. And the kiwi is, you know, also deciduous, so it is doing its best here. And this is a crazy patch of foxglove that sprouted this year. Hasn't bloomed yet, so it'll bloom next year. And then I put in this guy, which is the Atlas cedar. And I think I'm going to train him to be a silly shape, so I need to figure out what to do about his shape here. Sorry, aiming the camera is hard. So that we can get, you know, maybe one of these situations. We'll see. All right, well, there's my fruit trees, unpruned, will be unpruned until spring now. It's too late. All right, let's walk through this tunnel. There's not a lot in this tunnel. Roses, you know, they're still, like I said, some of them are still trying to bloom, but the thing is it's so cold that it doesn't actually open, so it just stays tight like this the whole time. And I have taken out, well, I filled in most of these beds, and I put garlic in them, so you can see a few garlic sprouts are coming up. Oops. Let's see if we get really close, you can see the sprouts. So I probably need to put more soil in here still, because you can see there's just like not a whole lot of soil. It drops so much, you know, between the rain. We've had like continuous rain, and so it's just struggling. These guys are doing well, very beautiful. This maple is starting to turn its fall color. This one is really dark. I thought it would turn a bright red, but it doesn't. And well, we'll see. I want a bright red maple. You know, this just needs to be weeded. There's so much. I have not gotten back here at all. I'm just leaving it for now. You know, that's a future me problem. I've cleaned up a lot of this bed. Let's see, what did I do here? Well, I took out a lot of just brambly stuff. The kale that was here, I took that out. I put in new bulbs, and then I just kind of moved a whole bunch of stuff around, and I've got a lot of hostas that are dead there, so pruned those out. Just, you know, trying to keep everything kind of clean going into fall. And then I need to dig out this dahlia, but it's still blooming, so I'm gonna leave it and, you know, get whatever blooms I can, because I mean, look at that. these blooms, even though it's so cold, we've been hovering at like 36 every night. Look at that. The blooms are still perfect. They're beautiful. I'm not gonna take it out until it completely dies back. My maples that are changing colors, so I am getting the red orange excuse me, red orange color here. This one should turn golden. There's a red. So this is a plan moment here. This is a Chief Joseph pine, and that is an Orangiola. I think that's how you say the name. And this is a variegated maple, so you can see the color much better now. And so between these three and this one right here, the toad lily, I've got this kind of beautiful moment right here. I think I'm going to move the hosta because this is very not evergreen, but you know, I've got such good fall color right here, and then that is not the look. So I'm going to replace that with something. I don't know what yet. I'm going to figure it out later. All right, let's look over here at my beds. So my onion seeds are coming up I've got a lot of sprouts of just stuff coming up everywhere. I think those are onions and cilantro. I'm gonna let it grow for now. Onions are from these guys, you know. The herbs are here, much more visible now, obviously, because I've cut back everything else. I've got some starts in trays. I've just stuck them out here. I'm gonna put them in the ground at some point. My rosemary, which needs to be pruned back. And then this is just some ornamental pepper that came with a tree that I bought from Costco that I just decided to leave here. And then this is shiso, and I decided to just let it go so that I can take its seeds when it's ready. And some really, really cute ornamental kale that also came in the Costco pot. So this is some nice color for fall. And then on this side, we've got artichokes. We've got some greens from a friend, and I'm very excited for those. And then inside of these tunnels, this is just to protect the soil, and so that I can put some starts in here. I haven't actually done it. The only thing that's in here is like cilantro that's grown. But I've got some winter ornamental kale. They're kind of eaten by bugs, you know, but I think they're pretty. They're cut flower kale, so I don't think they're meant to be eaten, but whatever. I still like them. This one is fantastic. This maple, you can see it's green, and then it's got this dark red and this orange all on one plant. And underneath it, I've also got a bunch of let me show you on this side. Maybe it'll be better on this side. This is a bunch of saffron crocus, and I've taken the stems, the little red stamens out of almost all of the ones that have been bloomed. So these ones are the new blooms for today, and you can see their big long stamen right there. This is my my ginkgo here, and what's amazing about it is that it drops all these beautiful, look at golden yellow leaves. It's got some of the best fall colors ever, and then it just mulches itself. Look at that. It's got a thick mulch layer, and it's so great. I love it. So inside of this tunnel, I made all these tunnels, by the way. So inside of this tunnel is just, well, it was some snaps, but they are definitely done. You can see they're ready to be cut back. And then all I've got in here is my rose. So this is also just protecting the bed a little bit from the crazy wind that we had. My kale, my forever crazy looking kale. There's a lot of violas on the bottom. really beautiful violas. They're cute. They're just starting to bloom. So you can see, very cute. And I've got some special varieties of viola right there that you can see. And yeah, and then I've got a lot of new sprouts of Nigella that's coming up. And the Nigella won't bloom until next year, but it's kind of fantabulous to have those. And this is definitely a weed, so it's gotta go. Get out of here. Out of here. All right. Let's walk around and look at this bed. So these are my planted cut flower beds. So this is my fall planted cut flowers, and I'm gonna have spring planted cut flowers in there, or maybe winter sown. So here are the fall planted beds, and you can see they are very much alive and very happy in there. There's a lot of stuff in here though, and I'm just holding them and keeping the frost off of them, ideally, for as long as I can until spring. Unbelievably, I've still got zinnias trying to bloom. And yeah, all these guys are just holding in place. You know, this bed is starting to die back. You can see I've added a lot of string to hold them up next year. I haven't added the string to this bed, but I will need to for sure. But you can see it's very, very green. There's a lot of violas in here. Cute little tiny violas, just to have a little bit of color. It makes me so happy to see them. There is a single cosmos that decided to grow, so I just let it have its thing. I'm gonna cut it out anyway. There's a lot of dianthus carnations in here, and then it's mixed in with a whole bunch of cilantro, because honestly I eat a lot of cilantro. So I'm gonna harvest out of here through winter and eat them. And then these are all snapdragons. Look how happy they are. So they've all been pinched, they all have multiple stems, and I'm just holding them until spring. My chayote squash is you know what, it's still trying. You can see a fruit right there, but I don't think it's long for this world. You know, it's been raining nonstop around here. This is another bed that is an early spring bed. So this bed is actually full of tulips. You can't really tell, but they're all under there, I promise. And then there is some, this is just, you know, it's sowed itself. This is returning Nigella as well. And then there's a beautiful little mumsy over there that a friend gave me. And this giant, oh my gosh, hollyhock that should be coming back. And then I've got just seed trays. I dug out all of my dahlia. So if we look at this bed here, all the dahlias have been dug out, and I'm going to rotate this bed. So this bed will be probably vegetables next year, because then there's no chance of any dahlia gall or any disease spreading. So I'm going to move the dahlia from this bed to this bed. They are separate beds. There was no dahlia in this bed this year. So just gonna rotate them through, and yeah, that's my front yard. My backyard is very boring now. We can walk there and take a look at it together, because I don't want to do two videos. It doesn't make any sense this time of year. Ooh, creek. Oh, let me show you my forest. So here's the forest. This is the hydrangea I was talking about. I decided to keep this area to drought tolerant plants. So I'm going to take this guy out, like I said. I want to move this one to here. But otherwise, the forest is amazing, and walking in it makes me so happy, because you can see, I hope you can see the vision, which is that when these guys get bigger and start filling in this space, it's going to be this little magical path that we're gonna walk along and see some really, really unique specimens. I mean, look at this. This is a redbud. This is a Ruby Falls redbud. It's a weeping redbud. And it's just got the most amazing color right now. You know, these dark leaves, heart-shaped. Just so good. I love it. I love the way it looks. And then on the ground, we've got black mondo grass. It's a very like yellow Japanese grass. So this is the palette, right? Dark, this bright variegated yellow. You can see it's repeated here. And this very blue, these blue colored evergreens. Yeah. A little bit more silver, kind of that bluish green we talked about. This thing, the larch is looking crazy, and I am obsessed with this tree. Look at this. It looks like a big walking rat, and I'm into it. And then there's a little miniature, and my son, look at this. My son made this tiny river. We started making this together, and look, he hid a little Halloween surprise here. There's the little person tanning in the sun. The river is not done. It's going to take us a little bit of time, but we'll get there. All right, let's continue to walk. This is kind of a mess here, but it's going to get worked on at some point this fall. All right, I'm going to walk back to here, and oh God, I just realized my neighbors dropped off more boxes. I don't need more boxes. Damn it. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Here we are with the rose garden. Nothing is blooming, obviously. Well, that's not true, actually. There's a couple of blooms, but they're not doing good, right? That's not what they're trying to do. There's a few calla lilies. They're really small that I got from Trader Joe's. I'm hoping that they'll come back bigger. They were pretty cheap at Trader Joe's, so I decided to get them. And then I've got some, you know, my roses are still here. They're pretty. And I'm just gonna walk you around because, you know, everything's going to a nap. So cherry trees starting to sleep. I know everything still looks really, really green, so maybe they don't look like they're going to sleep that much to you, but they do to me because, you know, the colors are changing. There's a lot of stuff that's been cut out. This bed, for example, had a whole bunch of stuff in here, and I ripped all of it out except for the onions and the Gotu Kola. That's what I've decided to keep from here. And you know, my trees are starting to change color. I mean, look at this tree. This is not incredible color. Look at that. Can you see how this is probably my favorite fruit tree that I have because it's just so beautiful. It's beautiful all the time. Tomatoes have been ripped out, of course, long ago, and crazy amounts of onions that I'm just gonna keep. There are still some empty beds here because I'm not filling them this year. I don't plan to. I'm just gonna leave it. And yeah, cranberry already lost all of its leaves. I have no idea how cranberries work apparently. And peach tree losing leaves. Pear tree long gone. Raspberries starting to lose its color, or starting to get its color rather. Blueberries, some of them, they're in varying stages. Some of them are pretty much gone. Oh, you know what I realized the other day, which I didn't harvest? I realized that look at this, have a couple of goji berries. So I'm gonna harvest this one. I don't even know if it's ripe, but no point in leaving this here. It's not gonna ripen anymore. Okay, so I got some goji berries. Look at this. I don't know if they taste any good. I'm gonna move this guy because my friend said that hers does great and mine does not. And this is all it's made in 3 years, I think. So I'm thinking of moving it over here. I think that's gonna be great. Anyway, fruit, berries, all in varying stages of going back to sleep. All right, well, that's it for me today, and I will see you soon. I'm excited for the garden to go to sleep, for me to rest a little bit, I'm really trying to be present and appreciate all of the color and, everything that's here right now. And then I can't wait for next year when everything will be in 1 year older and more mature, and in early spring I'll be able to prune all these guys and cut them back and get them to a manageable size and get some fruit next year. But for now, we're just going to let the garden do its thing and go to sleep. Bye.